Welcome back. It's Bonita Creek RC, and I got some new tires for my Ascent 18. These are the 60mm INJORA XHX pins. I'm going to drive this outside, and we're going to see how the tires do, or where they perform better, and some drawbacks that they have, and we'll mount the new ones, and we'll drive on the same lines and see how they do compared to those ones out in the course in a snap. Okay, we're gonna try this one obstacle here and let's see what the tires do. Let's see. They're slipping a bit. They need a bit more forward drive. They're really dusty right now, so they're not gonna have as good a grip. So I'm gonna turn driver. Now I was pulling up a bit, and now we fell back. I'm gonna try another run at it. Let's see. I got up on that rock a bit higher this time. Let's see how it does with that. So I'm gonna turn driver a bit. See, it's struggling. Turn passenger. Now it's kind of pulling it up. Now I'm trying to see what the how well it's steering on that log. Just trying to pull it over that way. Yeah, you can only go this direction off that chain bridge, otherwise your tire will get caught underneath it. Let's see, just go over around to the front and see what the front's doing. Okay, so it's going. No. I'm just watching it and seeing what it's doing. That was a loud truck. Yeah, that did pretty good. I don't really know how to give them like points or something, but it did pretty good on the logs here. It did struggle a fair bit there. I had to pick a line that it wanted to take, and I couldn't just go where I wanted to, so that kind of takes away from it, but it did make it up. So we're gonna just have to see how the other tires do better. Okay, so we're gonna try this obstacle, or this line here, and I'm not gonna do any steering. I'm just gonna hold the throttle, and I'm gonna see what it does. There's some slippage there, and then it was kind of hooking on and getting bound up on the nail sticking out. There's kind of rotating a little bit. Now I'm gonna go right up this. I don't think it'll do it going straight. I'm gonna steer a little. That that let it go up. So I'm gonna steer uphill now, and we'll see if it pushes over or if it'll pull it up. It's pushing over so far. Okay, that back passenger tire is gonna go off that rock, and then I'm gonna see what it does. It didn't roll. I was thinking for a little bit that it might, but no. And then going off that again. So let's see. I'm gonna try and go up. I'm gonna see what it does trying to go up this straight. Oh yeah, just pushing right off the side. Okay. So you can try and line it up to that again. Let's see what it's going to do. Oh yeah, it's just pushing straight into it. So I'll line the tire up with it. Oh, it's stuck. The back is kind of sliding over. The front grabbed. Now all the wheels are spinning and it's pushing over to the passenger side. See, I'm going to steer up into it and it's pulling it. It pulled it back up, but then it was high centering on the edge of that stump there. Or not stump, where the branch was that got cut off. So let's see what the tires do. There's some slide back there, and it's high centering now up on the skid. Let's see if it'll. Good thing. I don't think it's gonna get off of that, so I'll back up and try and line up with this better. Okay, it's struggling right here. I'm gonna try that again and see if I's not getting quite the right line, or if it's just not gonna do it. I have done it before. Let's see, I think it got a good hook right there. Let's see, kind of line the skid plate up with the notch. There we go. And now we got the back axle hooked right there. There's the dog looking for a lizard. Coco. Coco. Hi. Did you find the lizard? I don't think so. Let's see, so I'm gonna back up and try and get the axle unhooked. No, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that off. I don't want to get the tires bound up and then strip some gears. Okay, we'll just see how it does pulling up this, and then we'll compare how much wheel slip there is. Okay, I'm gonna try and keep it at a consistent speed. Okay, so it was pretty good until we got up to the edge. Then it just stopped and the tires are just spinning. So I'm gonna put a little steering into it, try and get off around the edge, but if I go too far, it'll slide off. No, it's kind of coming back, but I have the C-hub caught. See, steer back to the driver's side. Oh, I think it went off for a second. There, I just had to give it a little more wheel speed, and then it got the hook on the edge. I don't drive too much on this anymore, but I'm gonna just go up it, and then we'll see how the wheel slip is. It being on dirt doesn't give it much traction, so you really need a good tire. All the driving on it, just with these dirt obstacles, it always just erodes away the face, and it's always changing how hard an obstacle is. So you give it a little more throttle, try and get a hook on that. Nope, it just slid right back while the throttle was still going forward. Let's see, a little bump. No, not quite doing it. I think if I stayed here for like 10 minutes or something and just trying different stuff, it would make it, but this will be good for now. Okay, I think right here we'll be able to see pretty well how much forward drive is and kind of how the throttle band needs to be for it to grip. So going kind of slow so far, trying to keep it the same speed. Just getting some wheel spin there, or wheel slip. So you give it a little steering and a little more throttle. So it's kind of shuddering a bit, and it kind of goes forward and then it slides back. Okay, so it pulled up onto the top lip. There, let's see if I give it just that little bit more throttle. Yeah, straight up. Okay, I'm gonna try going up this and see how the tires grip. Let's see. There we have wheel slip there. See, I give it a little steering and it went right over. I was wanting to go straight up over the top there, so let's see. I start out a little more on this side, then try and come back. No, not really working until I went straight, and then it went over. Now I'm high centered. Giving a couple of little steering inputs with the high throttle, and then the tires caught and pulled it over. So we'll go mount up one of the new tires, and then we'll be back out here on the course in a Okay, so on this truck I was running these Little Guy Racing Parts Swamp King tires, and they're pretty good. I've had these I've had these more than a year now, and they have some pretty good wear on them. They're feathered in, and I'm kind of wondering if they're even past like feathered in into like wore out and not gripping as good, but I don't know, they're still pretty good. Ooh, I don't think any of them went off the table. They still sound they still have a little bit of sticky sound to it, but it has a little bit of dust on the inside, so when they're new, you could stack them all together and pick them up. So pretty sticky compound. And here I have INJORA's 57mm yellow silicone inserts. I really like these. I have some in my orange AX24 also. So they work pretty good and they're super soft. Just, let's see, just barely any pressure on them and they just squeeze. And they gave you better sidewall support than just a stock foam. So with these, I don't know if those silicones will work in these tires. Maybe the 64 millimeter silicones will fit in these. These are a 60 millimeter tire, but most of the 64 millimeter tires have taller tread, and this is a pretty short tread that these tires have, so the inside might actually be big. The inside of the tire might actually be big enough for those. That's actually the same size as the silicones. So let's see the size difference is. I think there will be a little bit of bag on them, but I'm gonna see if, I won't know until I mount them, so I'll just do that. And it's S5, so it's pretty stretchy compound, real sticky. Let's see, just kind of spin it on my thumb to get just kind of get all the fins even. Sometimes in those tires they kind of bunch up some, so okay, so I think there's about that much of deflection before it touches the insert, but that'll probably leave it squishing like that. I'm gonna try these on there. I wonder which. Trying to think which ones are softer. Oh, the yellows are a lot softer than the foams. So I'll try the yellow inserts, and if they don't turn out to work so well, or I think they feel like they're just squishing too much, then I'll use the foams. But I just keep fumbling stuff. So these are aluminum rings from 1.1 inch INJORA wheels. So I took these out of the wheels on the AX24 and I swapped the brass rings that were on the rear of this truck and put them in the front of that one, and it get a better weight or front weight bias in both of them, which that worked out pretty well. So let's see, you just get that ring in there, just kind of move it around a bit to make sure that everything's just kind of seating good and being happy in there. So let's see, I'm gonna put the face in. I just have to tug on the edge of the tire a little bit to get the bead to get unjammed. So let's see, now I'm just trying to find the edge of the bead lip on the tire and trying to get that seated nice and square in there. I think that's pretty good. So now I'm going to put the back piece in, try and line it up. Okay, I think that's pretty lined up. So now I'm just tugging on the edge of the tire, trying to get it to seat right. I'll just check the front real quick. put some screws in. I think this is going to have a little bit of side roll to them because the carcass of these tires feel kind of thin, which is good, but if you have a thick tire carcass, then you won't get the conformity you need out of the tire to get good forward drive. But with a thinner carcass, then you gain forward drive and you give up some sidewall stability for when you're side hilling. Let's see, I think that was one of the ones to this wheel. I just kind of torque them down with the thin shaft, and that way I don't get so much torque on it that I could get from that handle that I strip stuff out. You can get enough torque with just the shaft. And I like to mount them in a cross pattern and then kind of tighten down until they just touch, and then I go around like 2 or 3 times once they're all the screws are seated all the way down, and then I just go around 2 or 3 times to just torque them down. And as you go around, it squishes the tire bead a little more, and then it gets the other ones loose, so it just go around and around, and then it'll get them all tight and pretty even. Okay, so that's done. Yeah, I think these are going to be tall enough. I was wanting these tires to be taller and to kind of keep the C-hubs from catching all the time. You can't really see that very well. That C-hub is very large on these trucks, so I was wanting a little bit taller tire than those Swamp Kings to try and lift it a little bit, but a 64mm tire is going to be way too much, and this is a 60mm tire. It's kind of halfway in between, so I hope the sizes turn out good. I'm going to mount all the other ones, and then you'll find out what I decided to do next. So one thing I did notice is that the silicone inserts are kind of mushing the tires out and making them wider. See, this one has the silicone in it, and this one has the foam in it, and it's gaining a little bit of width there. I wonder if it's taking away height. Let's see, I need something flat for them to be on. Okay, looks like it's making them just a tad shorter and a little bit wider. So I might try the foams later. I don't know. I'll see if I like the silicones because I already have them, so I want to try and use them and not because I'll have better sidewall support. Okay, so they mounted up pretty good. I did have a little bit of problems with the rims not being lined up, but I didn't have any like beads slipping out or anything. And I think these 56mm silicone inserts will be pretty good. Like even with just the weight of the brass rim is depressing it on my finger when it sits there. Man, it's really dark behind the camera. I need to get some backlight or something. Let's see. Yeah, it just sitting there has some bag. See, get it real close. And just, it sits down and it mashes. And if I press down on it, that's as much as it'll go down, because all the layers of the silicone are getting bunched up, so then the silicone itself won't compress, but it's all the air gaps between the silicone that compresses. So once it gets squished, all the lines of the silicone just get kind of mashed up and then they don't compress anymore. But that's a really supple tire, which will be good. The ground patch will be pretty good. That's the area that the tire actually touches on the ground. Okay, so I put a few of the tires on, and I realized I wanted to weigh them, make sure I put the right ones at the right spot. So that's 62.5 grams, which these are 1.1 inch wheels. So stuff this small weighing that much is quite a lot. So let's see, what's this one weigh? That one weighs 63. That one weighs 51, so that has aluminum ring. And 51, that one has aluminum ring. Let's see how much the total weight is. 228.6 grams, so 229 grams on a 1/18th scale crawler, which that's pretty heavy. Well, I got the tires mounted up and they look pretty good. I was wondering if it's just they would be kind of weird looking, but no, they look good on this guy. They do bag a fair bit. When they sit down, they do have a decent amount of squish. And I did forget to punch some holes in the sidewall. See, like on this tire, I have those holes right there and right there to let air in and out so that they can compress. These are semi-pneumatic tires. They need to be vented, and then they rely on a foam to hold them up, not air pressure like in a car tire. But with them not being vented, you squeeze it and you see the whole tire bunch up on the top there. So I need to vent them, but they have plenty of conformity as they are. The big ones, the 475 XHX pins, are really, really good. And the 70 millimeter XHX pins on the 1.3 inch wheel are really good from all the videos. So I don't know why these smaller ones wouldn't be good. But we're gonna have to see in a little bit. So you're gonna see it before I do, because it really is dark now. We'll be there in a second. Okay, here I got the Ascent 18 with the INJORA XHX pins, and we're gonna see if they grip better than the Swamp Kings. So let's see. Oh, it pulled straight up that face. It didn't have any slip. So far, I haven't seen any wheel slip. There's some. Oh, it's right there. Just give it some really low RPM. Oh man, that's much better than the other ones. I was fighting for quite a bit. So let's see now. I'm gonna. Oh, that's mechanical. Okay, so let's see, gonna go like that and then turn and go off the edge. And then I'm gonna go around to the front. Okay, let's see, it didn't hit the bumper on the log like it did with the other ones. So let's see how the tires are conforming. Let's see, I'll go around to that other side in a little bit. Okay, so now we're just gonna pull forward, and that had a lot more grip than those other tires. Oh yeah, look at that bag on that tire. That's pulling pretty good. Man, it's really wanting to grip there. So he's hitting a skid there. Oh, I had a little shudder to it, but it pulled it straight up. And let's see how it does going over that. Going over that knob. So you're having a little wheel slip there. There's some fall back. So you put a little steering into it. I got the front seat hub stuck there. So I'll turn passenger. And there's like a million flies out. Okay, they are struggling a bit here, like the other ones did. These ones kind of have a bit of shudder to them. There we go, I got a good hook on it there. So, you know, just pull it over. Well, high centered on it pretty bad. Yeah, it's stuck. Okay, I'm gonna start it from straight. Head at it and try and just make a straight pull, not get any not do a shuttle to get over to it. Let's see, I'm gonna shuttle over a bit because it's not wanting to grip. Now I'll pull it back, and then it didn't come back, and it was too far forward. It was too far over. So let's see, try and do that right there. I got the rear axle hung up right there. That tire's was gripping pretty good. But I don't want to break anything, so I'm gonna move it. I have a little bit of hesitation, but it's just pulling. It's just pulling. That was really good. I think that's about what I expected of these tires. Everybody says they're pretty good. Oh, there it rolled over. Okay, now we're gonna come up to this. And we're gonna see, this is gonna test the forward drive, the tires. Okay, it has a little hesitation. I did drive on this before. They were dirty when I first came out, and it pulled straight up with no hesitation. But now they have dust on them, so maybe not quite as good. I mean, that's weird, the shudder. I think that shudder's coming from the lines, from the tread all being in those straight lines. So let's see, give it a little bump. Man, the performance on these really fell off once they got dust on them. Before they had dust on them, they would just go straight up it without any hesitation, and I could go as slow as I wanted. Okay, so now let's see what I have to do to get it to pull up this. Okay, so it's pushing me over to the side, so I'm gonna steer that way a little bit. I'm gonna turn back. No, didn't quite get a hook on it. Up, and I fell off the side. So I'm gonna come back up it I'm gonna try this way. See, I got the C hub again. Back up a little, turn driver side a little bit. Oh, it pushed off. So, oh, I didn't get enough steering on that once it hooked. Now it pushed over to the side. So I got the one tire up on top and I got the C hub stuck. So I just got the passenger front tire to climb up on the edge a little bit and then we were good. Let's see. Almost on the skid. If not, I can't quite see at that angle if it was actually touching. So they did not like the dust on the tires. They probably need to get driven a bit so that the silicone inserts will get to know the tires a bit. So tires always need a little bit of run time to get situated inside there, and then once they do, they work a fair bit better. And I did forget to vent the tires, so that could be causing a little bit of a negative effect on their performance, but they still have plenty of, what's the word? Compliance. They have plenty of compliance, but maybe they just want a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna try it here again. The other tires could not make it up. So let's see. So far they're doing a bit better. The others were having more wheel slip. Oh, there is wanting to go there. Man, flies are going crazy. Okay, it's wanting to go. But it's gonna need a little speed. Oh, okay. That little log right there was on the side of that before, and it kind of gave like a guardrail that you could drive out on, but that broke off, and then it made that side a little more dangerous. Having something you go off the side. Man, it made it up. That was pretty good. These tires seem to be doing better in the dirt than I thought they would. Okay, now we'll see how it does going up this ramp. So, got the C hub stuck on that little bit of concrete at the bottom. So I'm gonna try no steering input and a constant speed. These are just kind of going straight up. Oh, they're stopped going forward. They're having some shudder and shudder and wheel slip. I'll give it a little more speed and a little steering. The front's getting kind of light. You're getting that shudder again. You go full passenger. And it made it. Before I had to give it a kind of a bump to get up over it. That one I was able to make it with just some consistent speed. We're gonna come and drive down. We'll see. Keep the steering straight. Just kind of keep that tire in that crack. Okay, so the back is kind of slipping a bit, so I'm gonna turn uphill a bit. That's full lock passenger, and it's staying on. Oh, the back just slid over a lot. And it's just down in that crack. So you're gonna go passenger, and now driver, passenger, trying to, oh no, getting really sideways, but staying on. And these are really gripping pretty good. We're having some side slide on them, but I had the C hub bound up there, and then I had to do that reverse. Up, it's bellied up on there. All right, we're over here in Mini Moab, and we're gonna try this. It was struggling a bit before with the Swamp Kings, and we're gonna see how these tires do. Okay, they're wanting to grip, but they're not quite. The Swamp Kings wanted to do the same thing and go off that way. I was wanting to go straight up and over right there, but it pushed it off that way. But these tires did that easier than the Swamp Kings. It's not what I wanted to do for either of them, but the other tires, the Swamp Kings, were struggling more to get the same result. You're gonna give another try at it. I'm gonna come a little bit more from the passenger side. I'm gonna swing back on the steering. Okay, it's hooking. Okay, it's already made it. But the reason that it keeps pushing over like it did last time was that tire got onto right there in that dip. And then once it does, it cannot make it up but going straight up. It just can't. It pushes it over at an angle to where the tires just can't grip to put it up and over. Okay, it's bellied up, so you go driver bit, and that just really gripped with that driver front tire. And let's see. I bellied up, I'm gonna go off this side then. Sorry for the wind, but let's see. It had a little bit of hang up, but it's doing pretty good. All right, some final thoughts. I was impressed with these tires. They worked very, very good before they were dirty. They went straight up to that one white concrete block that I showed. But once they were dirty, they did struggle quite a bit more with the dust. With these inserts, they do kind of squish down to a similar height that these Swamp Kings are. The Swamp Kings would also squish down a little bit, so I did gain a little bit more ground clearance with the C-hub, but I'm still getting hung up. So I might try the 64mm INJORA yellow silicone inserts. I don't think I need the green. The green I think will be too firm. So I like a real supple tire. Let's see. It's getting a little bit of conformity with just the weight of the screwdriver, just squishing down the tiniest bit. It's pretty cool. So these are a 60mm tire, and then those other ones, the 64mm INJORA silicones, I think they're actually 58mm tall, and I think these inserts are like 52, I think. I'm not sure. But maybe if I trim some of the side of the insert, this is just the foams the tires came with, but if I trimmed off some of the overhang right on the edge, I could it might stretch the tires taller and then make them a little narrower. These silicone inserts did mush them out to the side a bit. They gained about 2mm in width, I think, and they're a little bit shorter. They do have a little bit of an air gap between the actual tire and the insert, but that just gives it that real supple conformity.